order Sparks Planning Commission meeting Thursday, December 15th, 2016 at 6 p.m. Call to order. Roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Present.
Commissioner Freeland.
Here.
Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Furber.
Here.
Commissioner Vanderwall.
Here.
Assistant City Attorney Doug Foreman.
Here.
Assistant Community Services Director Armando Morales.
Here.
Okay. Public comment. This item is for either public comment on any action item or for general public comment and is limited to no more than 3 minutes for each commentator. There being none. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda approved. Approval of the minutes. Review and possible approval of the minutes of the November 15th, 2016 Planning Commission study session.
Move to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Review and possible approval of the minutes of the November 17th, 2016 Capital Improvements Advisory Committee meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Review and possible approval of the minutes of the November 17, 2016 Planning Commission meeting for possible action.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr.
Announcements?
Chairman, are these mics on?
Yes.
Are they?
Yes.
Announcements and committee reports?
With regard to announcements, as is indicated by some of the items under the general business portion of the agenda, we will have 2 vacancies on this board. The candidate list has been provided to the mayor for his selection, and it is anticipated that the selection will be made and be agendized for ratification at the January 9th City Council meeting. That should be in time to have 2 new commissioners for the next Planning Commission meeting, which will not be until January 19th.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
In terms of informational items, I just wanted to let you know that at the December 12th City Council meeting, that is earlier in the week, the impact fee service area number 1, land use assumptions, capital improvements projects, and fee updates were approved by the City Council.
Thank you, Armando. Public hearing items. There are no public hearing items for this meeting. General business. PCN 08042, consideration of and possible action on a request to approve the building elevations for approximately 58,700 square foot addition to the main retail center, Zone A3, in fulfillment of the requirements listed in the Legends at Sparks Marina Plan and Development Handbook.
Commissioner Camerata, other members of the Planning Commission, Ian Crittenden, Senior Planner. As stated, this is a review of an addition to the Legends, the main retail center at Legends. You guys actually, the Planning Commission actually reviewed some elevations for this addition previously, but there has been some changes. This is a site plan or vicinity map that just kind of shows where that location is. Here's the theater, and this is kind of that main portion of the building, and obviously Shields here. And this area actually had a building or an elevation. You guys, the Planning Commission has approved those. That's okay. It has changed in shape to a certain degree, and then the elevations had to change accordingly as well. Previously, this was more of a smooth transition through here. The applicant or the Red Development has secured Burlington Coat Factory to go into that space since they needed a larger space, and they had to change the facade to accommodate one large tenant that they hadn't been anticipating previously. As staff reviewed these elevations, they found that the colors that are being used and the materials are similar or matching those of the rest of the facility. They are compliant as to color as well as articulation, both vertically and horizontally, and changes in material and color. Staff finds them in compliance with the handbook as well as the word I'm looking for. My mind went totally blank. The design standards, thank you. I don't know why those poof right out of my head. The design standards that are generally applicable through the city code. Staff recommends approval. I'm available for any questions. The applicant, his flight got canceled. He was going to be here today, and so he unfortunately is not here to answer any specific questions you may have had for the applicant. But
Just curious, so like, I'm looking at Burlington, do we limit each store to one sign? In this case, I'm seeing 2 signs.
no, they would fall under the, sorry, I was looking at this earlier, the criteria of they've got about 5 different splits here. They are a sub-major retail tenant, and as a sub-major, they do have multiple signs available to them.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, there's some weird splits. I couldn't remember exactly what it was called.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Oh, if you were done with your question.
Yes, I was.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to have you address the sign on it looks like it's kind of like a freestanding sign on the first page of the elevation. What kind of sign is that classified as under the handbook?
We would call it actually a roof sign. It is mounted 90% to the roof. That extra leg just sticks out a little bit to create some more architectural interest there. And after we spoke, Commissioner Carey called me today with this concern, wanted to make sure I understood where he's coming from. I found there's actually a section on page 61 of the handbook that says roof signs shall be allowed within the main retail center. This is a portion of that main retail center, and so we feel a roof sign would be an allowed thing in that area.
Okay, so this is kind of like the ones that are in the main mall corridor that look like billboards,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is not a freestanding sign, and it does meet the
Correct.
conditions of the handbook.
Yeah, they'll have to apply for the actual sign portion of that structure independent. That will be a separate application. At that time, we'll verify the square footage and those kind of things that need to be addressed when we're dealing with signs. But it as an element of this elevation, we feel is in compliance with the sign code that we assume will be applied for as part of the ultimate application for the building.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions for Mr. Critton? There is no vote. There is a vote. There is vote. There is a vote. Bring it back to the commissioners for comments. Any comments? Would anyone like to entertain a motion?
Mr. Chairman, in lack of a motion from somebody else, I'll be happy to make one.
Thank you.
I'd like to move to approve the building elevation for approximately 58,700 square feet, 58,700 square foot addition to the main retail center, Zone A3, in fulfillment to the requirements set forth in the legends at Sparks Marina Plan Development Handbook associated with PCN 08042.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9 on the agenda, PCN 16045, consideration of and possible action on a request to approve the building elevations for an approximately 7,060 square foot building, located at 1565 East Lincoln Way, Zone C, in fulfillment of the requirements listed in the legends at Sparks Marina Plan Development Handbook for possible action.
Members of the commission, Ian Crittenden, senior planner again. This is the second piece that we've seen of the new Zone C of Legends. As you may remember, probably just a month or two ago, we saw the elevations, this body approved the elevations for Chick-fil-A. That Chick-fil-A, if you look at the map, is out here on the corner of Sparks Boulevard and Big Fish Drive. This next piece is an inline center that will be located roughly right in this area. I think it might actually be a little further this way than that. Staff reviewed the elevations for this building as well. The requirements are slightly less intense, maybe for lack of a better word, are articulated than they are for the main center. Basically, they need to be compliant with the other buildings in the area and also be compliant with our design standards at the city of Sparks. These buildings definitely meet those standards. They actually, again, tried to match paints used in other areas to make sure they match, but also use similar materials and colors as have been used other places. This building is in compliance for articulation, both in color and the vertical and horizontal articulation for depth. Staff recommends approval, and I'm available for any questions related to it.
Any questions for staff?
Have we identified a tenant?
They have not given us any tenants that they know of going in here. I'm assuming they're working on pre-leasing as they are with most of their stuff, but they have not indicated to me anybody that they feel may be going into this building.
Thank you.
So if a possible tenant changes, there's a possibility that some of the standards could change?
We have, the only time I've seen that here in Legends is with the addition of Burlington because it was such a large tenant. I guess there is the possibility if they were to pre-lease potentially this whole space to one, they may want to change the elevation to a single storefront versus multiples. We just won't know until that happens, though. So there is the potential for that to happen, though.
Thank you. Bring it back to the commission for discussion. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. Since this here would be my last motion, I know my first motion, I don't know about my first one, but I was one of the original on for the Legends development. So the first one I think was Shields, and this is going to be my last one.
Second. Make a motion.
Yeah.
Let's get them going.
I move to approve the building elevations for approximately 7,060 square foot building located at 1565 East Lincoln Way on Big Fish Drive, Zone C, in fulfillment of the requirements set forth in the Legends at Sparks Marina Plan Development Handbook associated with PCN 16045.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Can I second that?
Since I'm outgoing, I'd like
Yes,
to.
second.
Okay.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 10 on the agenda, presentation of resolution number 214, commending Commissioner George Camerata for his service on the City of Sparks Planning Commission. What do you mean?
Generally, the chair leads these, but as you're the chair. This is resolution number 214, a resolution recognizing the contributions of Commissioner George Camerota. Whereas George Camerota was appointed to the Sparks Planning Commission on December 10th, 2012, and has continuously served since that date, and was elected as chair in 2016, and whereas Commissioner Camerota has served as an alternate to the Regional Planning Commission since 2015, and whereas Commissioner Camerota has unselfishly committed his time and knowledge to making significant contributions to the planning process for the City of Sparks during his tenure as a member of the Sparks Planning Commission, and whereas the Sparks Planning Commission meets on a regular basis requiring Commissioner Camerota's attendance at many public hearings, workshops, and study sessions, and whereas Commissioner Camerota participated in the preparation of complete revisions of the Sparks Comprehensive Plan and the City of Sparks Zoning Code, And whereas every member of the Sparks Planning Commission, past and present, is proud to have served with Commissioner Camerota. And whereas the Sparks Planning Commission recognizes Commissioner Camerota's contributions to the Planning Commission and to the city of Sparks. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Sparks Planning Commission acknowledges and sincerely appreciates the invaluable contributions that Commissioner George Camerota has made to the city of Sparks during his tenure as a planning commissioner. Passed and adopted this 15th day of December 2016 by the Sparks Planning Commission.
Thank you.
I want to add very briefly on behalf of the entire staff at the City of Sparks, and particularly the staff of the Community Services Department and your engineering and planning staff, we thank you for your service. You know, it's citizen planners such as yourself that makes this process work and allows for the public to have a voice in the work that what we do. So, again, on behalf of the staff, thank you very much.
Thank you, and I'd like to compliment the staff and my fellow commissioners for their professionalism. It's been a fun year. Been a challenging year. It's been an interesting 4 years, and learned a lot. Recognized the work. Thank you. That being said, item number 11, presentation of resolution number 213, commending Commissioner Thomas Lean for his service on the City of Sparks Planning Commission. Mr. Lean? You get to read?
Your whereas.
Whereas and why for. Resolution number 213, introduced by the Sparks Planning Commission. A resolution recognizing the contribution of Commissioner Thomas Lean. Whereas Thomas Lean was appointed to the Sparks Planning Commission on July 11, 2005, and has continuously served since that date. And whereas Commissioner Lean served as chair of the Planning Commission in 2011. And whereas Commissioner Lean has served as a regional planning commissioner since 2007. And whereas Commissioner Lean has unselfishly committed his time and knowledge to making significant contributions to the planning process for the City of Sparks during his tenure as a member of the Sparks Planning Commission. And whereas the Sparks Planning Commission meets on a regular basis, requiring Commissioner Lean's attendance at many public hearings, workshops, and study sessions. And whereas Commissioner Lean participated in the Sparks Planning Commission's review and approval of numerous major projects in Sparks, including the DeAndrea, Copper Canyon, Legends at the Marina, Foothills at Wingfield Springs, Kylie Ranch North, Pioneer Meadows, Sparks Galleria, Galleria Station, Cali Ranch South, Miramonte, and Stonebrook planned developments. And whereas Commissioner Lean participated in the preparation of complete revisions of the City of Sparks zoning code and the comprehensive plan. And whereas Commissioner Lean was always available as a mentor, sharing his experience and knowledge. And whereas every member of the Sparks Planning Commission, past and present, is proud to have served with Commissioner Lean. And whereas the Sparks Planning Commission recognizes Commissioner Lean's contribution to the Planning Commission and to the City of Sparks. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Sparks Planning Commission acknowledges and sincerely appreciates the invaluable contribution that Commissioner Thomas Lean has made to the City of Sparks during his tenure as a planning commissioner. Passed and adopted this 15th day of December 2016 by the Sparks Planning Commission. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I got a couple comments here I'd like to make. God, it's been like 11 years. I was proud to be part of the Sparks Planning Commission for 11 years. I have sat on this commission with some interesting commissioners. My first meeting was with Kendall Matina, Fred Locken, Marvin Moss, Scott Barnes, Mitch Nowicki, and Jackie Peterson. Now my last meeting is with well-informed commissioners. They are very civic-mindedness, interested in planning, and have an open mind to new ideas. They listen to opposing views and express themselves clearly and concisely. I would encourage staff to hold once-a-year workshops on planning commissioners' responsibilities, bylaws, etc. We did that last year, and it was very informative to a lot of the newer commissioners. I would also ask staff to make sure that the commission has all relevant information that a commissioner needs to make an informative decision. The commissioner's job is to weigh the professional input given in the staff's report. A commissioner is much like a judge who is trained to render a legal decision based on testimonies of experts. I want to thank staff, Mary Lee, Karen, Ian, Jim Rundle, Armando, and special thanks to my fellow commissioners, and a special thanks to John Martini, Neil Cruz, and Mayor Martini. Thank you very much.
Well said. Public,
Again, on behalf of staff, we'd like to thank Commissioner Lean for his service. He certainly did double duty in serving on the Regional Planning Commission for quite a lot of years, through some interesting goings-ons that went on at regional planning. So, Mr. Commissioner Lean, again, thank you very much for your
You
service.
bet. Thank you, Armando.
public comment. This is for general public comment limited to items that do not appear on the agenda and is limited to no more than 3 minutes for each commentator. Pursuant to NRS 241.020, no action may be taken upon a matter raised under this item until the matter has been specifically included on an agenda. There being no public comment, I'll bring it back to the dais for commissioners' comments from the commissioners.
Yeah, I have one, maybe, if, I don't know when this commission is going to re-elect a new commissioner for Regional Planning Commission, but I know last time it was kind of, I don't know really what happened, but I don't remember, I think it was Diane that was elected to Regional Planning. But, I mean, myself, I liked it, I don't know whether it's going to do any good or not, but throwing Frank Peterson to be the next Regional Commissioner, if that means anything, I'd appreciate it, and appreciate your vote for Frank. I know you're going to have two of them, so I'd appreciate your vote for Frank for one.
Thank you, Tom, but judging by all those whereas on that, you left nothing for us to do.
You can handle it.
Any additional comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, can I say something? I kind of went a little fast right there with Tom. I wanted to say how much I enjoyed being with him on the Planning Commission. Great job. The same thing, George. And so it's been a pleasure having
It has.
and my friend here.
I know.
It's been very good. Thank you, my friend.
You bet.
Good job.
Mr. Chair, I would also like to say I've enjoyed working with you, George, for the short amount of time, very short amount of time.
Ditto.
And Commissioner Lean, we served 6 years on regional planning together. And I'm sad to see you go because I really enjoyed working with you and everything else, and I wish you the best of luck and learned a lot from you.
Thank you, Diane, thank you.
I'd like to say something too. I enjoyed sitting next to George over the last year, and Commissioner Lane, I'll let you know that we will keep landscaping in the forefront of our mind on all kind of developments.
And I appreciate that, Commissioner. I do.
Your knowledge of trees is astounding.
I'd like to say, Tom, thank you, and it's been a pleasure working with you, it really has. And George, I knew you 3 years. Your name was thrown around my house for 3 years before I met you. And then I heard from others, and then I heard from others about this George. You gotta meet him. He's a great guy. And then about 6 months, I met him 6 months ago, maybe before coming on this committee. And then I joined him on this committee. And you know, George, everything they said about you is true.
Thank you.
I think you're a great guy.
Thank you, Frank. It was kind of cool recommending you for this committee too, and I feel part of being a commissioner is, you know, selling the job to others, so I've helped create some network of young, talented people out there who've submitted their interests to their respective council persons, so don't know who made the cut list, but I've been out there talking up this commission and talking up the neat results that happen working together and working with professional staff. So I've got one or two people, I've told them there's potentially some openings, and they've expressed an interest in city government. So I think it's like we used to say in the Army, you need to think about replacing yourself. So that's what this is about, leaving some nice footprints and someone else to leave some bigger footprints. So it's been cool. It's been really nice. So it's been nice, and I really appreciated getting to know all the members up here on the dais, so thank you. And with that being said, adjournment. Thank you.